Online workouts have become a norm in the fitness world. Instead of driving to the gym, you can work out in the comfort of your own home. But my next guest says that she has a word of warning for us. She says that without a personal trainer or a teacher giving you, those lessons, teaching you the techniques, you can make easy mistakes. And when the correct techniques aren't used, you're more at risk to have an injury. Studio 5 fitness contributor Emily Nielsen joins me with those basic techniques for your lower body. Hi.
Hi.
Glad you're here with us.
So excited.
I saw you you're ready. You were like working
ready.
out,
Getting
getting pumped for this. Okay, so let's talk about that. Technique is so important.
Yeah, I love that fitness has moved on with the digital world and there's so much accessible. It's amazing that there's so many things that anyone can do from home.
Right.
But it does get concerning because there's not someone right there looking at your technique, fixing you. So it's putting the responsibility back on us as participants to really get back to basics. What is the good technique? What are my check-in points? Because they're giving you the cues. I know any good fitness platform online is giving you the cues, but you got to internalize those and have your own self-awareness.
And it's not necessarily just the technique, you're getting the better exercise. You don't want to get injured.
That's the number one thing. And I'm not talking about like going into a lunge and like blowing out a knee, which of course could be a freak accident.
Things.
It's when you do repeated movements over and over with not proper alignment, joint over joint, which we're going to go through, it is detrimental and you will start to get knee pain. You will start to hurt in ways that you shouldn't be. And so it's kind of really like having those check-in points, which we're going to talk about today. I'm going to go over them with you. Have those check-in points with yourself to be like, it becomes so second nature that's like you go into a squat and it's perfection from the very beginning because you've made that commitment.
And you feel more confident in your workout as you're doing it because you know you're being safe and you're treating your body well. Okay, you are going to focus on the lower body for us.
Yeah. So we're going to come back on another day. I'll come back with some other, but we're going to focus because there's so many things I want to talk about. It's like so hard. And so we're going to start with the squat.
We have to rein her in.
Yeah, we got to rein in. So the biggest thing is, the first thing is joint over joint. So when I think about that, think like knees over toes, shoulders over hips. Yeah, and like where are we going? And like if you were in a plank, shoulders over wrists. It's so important naturally. So we're going to go in a regular squat. We're just going to stand like hip distance apart. So people, that feels awkward, right? This feels awkward. Just that really natural stance. And then we're gonna sit back like we're sitting in a chair. And that's why I love a regular squat, is literally you wanna drive your hips to the back like you're sitting in a chair. I'm gonna be mean because I'm gonna make us hold while we talk. But notice, see that knee over your toes?
Correct me.
Yes.
So if I do it, am I better to turn or straight? Okay, well, straight first.
Yes,
so
right
if I go down.
Back. Yeah, so you are perfect right there. See, so what the biggest thing is, a next thing we're talking about is right there, is your hips are sitting back, right?
Yeah.
So that's your postural alignment. So naturally, your body's just gonna have a slight lean forward, right?
I feel like I'm gonna fall forward sometimes.
So you don't wanna do that. You don't wanna ever drop your head. You want a nice neutral spine. Neutral spine. And look, if I'm trying to open up too much, how awkward does that feel, right? I'm arching in the back. So think about like you're wearing suspenders.
Okay. Suspenders are on.
If you go like this, your suspenders are gonna pop open. If you hunch over, you want to keep nice tight suspenders. So go straight back like you're sitting in a chair, 90 degree.
How long do I have to hold this?
Not that long, we're just doing basic. So the same thing, so what are the three things we're looking for? Joint over joint, postural alignment. So where is my chest going? Where are my hips going?
And you should feel your hips turn out, right?
Yes, you should go back. So in this one, your postural alignment is that your pelvis is going back like you're sitting in a chair. That's a regular squat. So the next thing is, what are you working? So the third one is body awareness.
Right here, I felt that.
Yes,
is that the right place?
Yes, your quads, your glutes, and your hamstrings as you come up. So when you think about what you're working, you're gonna get so much more out of the movement, right?
Focus.
Do you feel like we're sweating just from one squat? Okay,
I have not worked out in months.
Okay, so now I want you to go, because this is one, we're gonna go into a narrow squat. So bring your feet closer to bed.
Oh, what's one thing I want to ask you? I didn't realize there were so many different variables of squat.
Yeah, a squat, you're like a squat.
So this is what?
This is just a regular squat.
Regular, and then we're going narrow.
The biggest mistake with narrow, we're gonna do the same postural alignment, joint over joint, sitting back, but what we see is knees caving in. So I want you to squeeze right here on your inner thighs, right there above, and you're gonna sit back without letting your knees cave in. Yes.
And what is this supposed to work?
So this is working the same muscle groups, except for right here, now you're gonna engage here, which is kind of like a hard to work area.
I want to be in?
Yeah, so if you're here, and then you just like little pulses squeezing the inner thigh.
I'm gonna go skiing.
Yeah, see, that's getting you ready. Okay, the last one we're gonna talk about is we're gonna go into a wide plie squat. So we're gonna take our feet, notice how—
Can I warn you, I am not a dancer.
That's okay, we're gonna get you. You're doing good. So we're in a 10 and 2 position, so you notice this is a lot wider than our regular squat, right? So this is different because before we shot our hips back, right? Now we're gonna keep a neutral pelvis. So almost like there's a wall in front of us and behind us, and you're gonna drop down. So you're gonna drop down. Knees, once again, we're joint over joint. Don't let your knees cave in. So this is what we see a lot of. You wanna track right over, sit down. Look, you are a dancer, look at you.
I'm the farthest thing from a dancer, I can promise you that.
You can see that if you think about that, think about every time you do this that like there's a wall.
I feel like you're working your core with this one.
And you're not like this, right? How awkward does that feel? Or leaning forward. It's a very neutral pelvis. So we're once again checking in, joint over joint, our postural alignment, and then what am I working? Here, we just engage those inner thighs. So you can come down and start to add on things like heel lifts, and all those things. Isn't that so fun?
Wait, you just did a heel lift?
You got it. Let's go.
Oh boy, here we go.
But it's that mental check, because what happens is people will start doing, a workout where they're doing this and they're moving. And if they're suddenly caving the knees in or adding on, say you add weight, suddenly you're doing this, right? And if you start doing this.
If I'm starting basic, no weights. You just want to build up.
Do you know how much you can do with your body weight by focusing, moving slow and squeezing? Like you are feeling it just the same.
I love this. I love this.
Yes. You're now doing PA squats. Okay. Let's go quickly through lunges. So lunges are a little bit different because they can be tricky with knees if people have.
I'm going to tell you, I hate lunges. I really do, because I feel like I put so much pressure on my knees.
So I'm going to set you up for the best success. Number one, if you have any knee problems, avoid front lunges. That's where we see the most, because that forward motion
putting the weight on
goes, which done properly you shouldn't, but still if you feel. But so what we're going to do is you're going to take a step back. So we're going to take our right leg back. You're going to step, and you want to get low, a wide enough stance that you are not leaning forward.
Okay, right now I'm leaning, so I need to go back further.
So you want to take a wide step and now drop it down. Do you feel that when you take a wider step?
It puts more weight back here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is what you want to see. You don't want to be leaning forward. You want to be straight. So let's try the other leg. Big step back and drop it down. Same thing is when you do lunges, our body stays directly upright. So we're not leaning. This is the biggest thing I see is this.
I see people going too fast.
Yes. So you want to keep your body up nice and tall. Like once again, there's something around you. Body stays, because your shoulder should stay over your hips the whole time. The next thing that I see a lot with people, which you're not doing because you're a professional over here, is people tend to turn their foot in or out. I see this a lot. And do you see what happens? The knee tweaking. So always, anytime you do a lunge, even if people start to do a jumping lunge, make sure your foot is tracking forward, not turned in, because as soon as you turn in, that knee's gonna dive in.
It blows my mind how we've only done a few things and I'm already feeling like, as long as you're doing it the right way.
The body awareness.
You're working.
And body awareness in these sorts of things actually doesn't come natural for a lot of people. Some people it does, but if it doesn't, you really need to get back, okay, where are my points? Joint over joint. This is not joint over joint.
Yeah.
Okay, my knee's out of line. Same thing, this
Slow it down.
Too narrow. If you're too narrow or too wide, but getting that perfect step where you can align perfectly.
I want to look like you. You look so like you're in it.
We're ready.
Love it. I love it.
And then once you get that, then you can start, jumping. You can start doing something like, with weights into a deadlift where you're adding things and feeling confident in your movements.
All right. Well, now you know Emily is here to provide us all the details. Emily, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our workouts are going to be much, much better now.